Hello my loves, I'm finally getting the opportunity to have a play with my new Oracle deck, Guardian Angel Oracle by Debbie Malone. So let's put together a pick a card of what your angels are helping you with at this time. Let's get into the pile selection.
Today I have 4 piles here for you to choose from, so take a big deep breath in for me and out. Now ask your higher self and your angels what they are supporting you with at this time. Which of these 4 piles best resonates with the challenge and lesson that you are currently facing? Once you've made your selection, you can go to the description box of this video and click on the timestamp, which will take you directly to the beginning of your reading.
Hello to those of you who chose pile number 1. What are angels helping you with currently? What are they supporting you with? So the first cards that we have here is the Angel of Wisdom. I'm going to show you these cards because they're just beautiful. Angel of Music. And the Angel of Gratitude. Okay, let's dive in. So show me this Angel of Wisdom, please, Spirit. I'm seeing the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland, right? So I'm hearing this like, I'm late for a very, very important date, right? I feel like you feel as though you're new to something or late to the party in regards to something that you're currently learning or something that you have recently, you know, when you get a crumb of something and you go down the rabbit hole, in a sense. It's like that. It's like this curiosity, a spark of curiosity that leads you somewhere. And I'm looking at this card and she's in this book and she's like, how did I not know this? How did I not see this? Right? This is interesting. So it's like this knowledge has been out there all along and I'm only just catching on to it, right? I'm late to the party when it comes to this situation. Interesting. Clarified by the Page of Pentacles. So this is not only sparking your curiosity, but it's also giving you something that you want to manifest. It's rerouting something that you are now goal orientated toward, right? The Page of Pentacles is like the childlike energy of like, I'm going to save up all my money and I'm going to invest in this particular thing. Interesting. It's like you might be seeing some sort of financial opportunity that you are just discovering now. You may just decide all of a sudden that you want to switch careers, that you want to try a new job right now. It's like, I'm very curious about something now. How do I invest here? How do I create in this space? However, you're just in the stages of learning more about it, right? Then we also have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Now this is great because this is like, hey, this could actually help me. So this could be something financial that you're just finding out about. I didn't know that I could recover money in this way, that I could invest in this space and this would help me with my finances. It's like whatever this thing is that you're discovering, there's an opportunity for you to recover from a financial loss of some sort or an increase in income. It's like, hey, I don't have to identify with this version of me that is in a state of lack or is poor or broke, right? This is an opportunity for me. Okay, so you're discovering something, a space where you can invest. Great. Okay, then we have the Angel of Music. Show me this Angel of Music for pile number 1. I'm tasting like something metallic. So in regards to, so they send me messages in weird ways, right? I have like a metallic taste in my mouth. Now, when we're thinking in music terms, right? Music can have like different kinds of taste. So you might actually find that you're refining your music taste right now, or you're responding to different kinds of music. Now, metal, right, is a type of music. And I don't particularly like metal music because it affects my vibration in a negative way. If I listen to that kind of music, it brings anxiety into my body. So I feel like it's something like this, right? where something that you're listening to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be music, but it could be things that you're seeing on social media, it could be things that you are watching, you know, television programs that you're watching, but it's something that you're consuming is putting you in a state of anxiety or making you feel trapped within your situation. I just heard bait, like you like the bait. Okay. So it's like something that is designed especially for you, because if we think about, like, say you're fishing and you put like bait on a hook and you give somebody the bait, that bait is specifically set and put out there so that somebody will become, like, the fish will become trapped on the hook, right? I know that you like this. I know that you are going to bite at this. So it's something like that, where it's like, I'm sick of being baited by all these music suggestions or these television programs and things like that. So I feel like you're purifying your energy, or you are refining your tastes over time, your tastes without on what it is that you're consuming, so then it's altering your vibration within. But it's the energy's coming through as like, it feels very subtle, right? It's not like you're going on a full culling spree and just deleting everybody from your social media, or perhaps you are, but this feels like I'm slowly refining my tastes, and now I'm seeing algorithms. So this is like, I'm shifting my outward algorithm because I am too a creator. So I am creating my own algorithm, and this does not resonate with the type of algorithm that I'm currently creating. So this is the energy that's coming through here. And so your algorithm is becoming more refined, right? Is the way that this is coming through. And we have clarifying that the Six of Swords and the Knight of Wands in the reverse, both of those in the reverse. So this is interesting because this is something that you consistently return to with the Six of Swords. This is like, I know this is no good for me. I know that this doesn't leave me feeling great after I watch it, consume it, listen to it, that kind of thing. However, there's something here that it feels familiar, like it might take you back to a time. Perhaps it's something that you listened to or watched previously. This could be like a show that you watched and it's kind of like dark, right? But then they've just released a new season. So you're like, oh, but I do love this show. And with the Knight of Wands in the reverse, this is something that the Knight of Wands in reverse is like chaotic, impulsive, hot-tempered, a little volatile, right? So this is like, I know that this doesn't leave me feeling good and I fall for it every time. This can also be, the Knight of Wands is also that instant gratification kind of energy of, I need something right now to like divert my attention. And we certainly are in a space of attention right now. So you might think, you know, like TikTok, for example. TikTok only has very short clips and they're so addictive, right? They are like little short bursts of like funny, and then not so funny, and then emotional, and then, you know, we see some really negative things on social media and it just becomes a normal thing. I remember my son, right, he's a teenager, when there was a recent assassination, there was footage of that, and my child was trying to show it to me, and he was like, do you want to see this? And I was like, no, I don't want to see that. And then he was scrolling on TikTok, and then he just scrolled to another video, and the next minute he was laughing, and it made me think, wow, this is normal, right, in this day and age for these teenagers to not react in these kind of situations and not really absorb what it is that they're watching like it's a normal thing, you know. And it was shocking to me to witness that. Then we have the Angel of Gratitude. Show me this gratitude energy angels are coming through with right now. Oh wow, so this is the energy of feeling gratitude for what is no longer, for what is left, right? So you may have been looking at something as though something was a deep loss to you. If you have released some sort of chaotic energy around you, chaotic people, chaotic situations, this is like finding gratitude for the peace and the stillness rather than focusing on the loss of somebody, right? So say for example, if you are a parent and your children have got to the time where, you know, they're moving out and they've flown the coop or left you like with an empty nest. It's not leaning into that sadness, it's leaning into that new space of, wow, now I'm in a space where things are a little empty, yes, but I am embracing the softness, the kindness, the gratitude, the silence, this kind of thing. It's like something's shifting and changing within your reality. Two of Cups and the Eight of Swords. So yeah, this is like a lot of connections that you had around you with the Knight of Swords may have been like it's a very intense energy, the Knight of Swords. This is like people who come racing in and just, you know, we appreciate that when it's like our children and things like that. However, it might be people that, you know, on your social media or whatever too. It could be like, if you think about the Knight of Swords, this, like, he's a knight and he has a sword and he's racing in. So this could be the kind of shows that you're watching as well. I don't really watch shows like that, but like, you know, shows where there's a lot of violence, things like that. It's like, I love these shows. However, I do notice this like internal peace when I disconnect from these specific things. Or it could be people around you as well. Show me more about this, please. The Tower in the reverse and the Four of Cups. I just heard Outlander. I don't know what that show's about. Let me have that. Like, I've never seen that. Okay, so it's about conflict, basically. It's about conflict. So for somebody, it's Outlander. I've never watched that show, so that's certainly not. That's channeled, right? For somebody. Okay, so then, clarifying that, we have the Tower in reverse and the Four of Cups, which is interesting because this is that energy I was talking about where we consume these kind of things and we make it seem very normal, or we're just very like meh about it, right? With that Four of Cups energy there, that's like, I'm not really shaken by this. I don't really feel great about it, but I don't necessarily like feel any internal chaos from it either. It's like that apathy, you know, energy of, I understand that these people are destroying each other right in front of my eyes. However, it's fine. I'm feeling like my leg wants to stretch. So you might be actually switching up some of these habits with some sort of stretching, maybe yoga or something like that. Maybe you're doing some more breathing or taking more time to relax, right? However, it seems like you actually really enjoy watching these things as well. I feel like you're getting very comfortable in silence at this time. You're being thankful for the silence and the sounds that come through the silence, right? So I know, like, for me, I have a lot of trees where it is that I live, and there's some beautiful birds that live in these trees. And where I live specifically, and a lot of people do mention it in regards to the videos that I post, some of the birds are so noisy, but it's like creating that stillness, that silence, so that you can tune into these kind of sounds and hear them. But I feel like whatever it is you're discovering in this new knowledge, this new book, or whatever it is that you're reading or uncovering, you can lean into it by eliminating certain distractions around you that like starve you of your attention. Then we have empathy. This one says, you deeply empathize in your relationships, understanding others' feelings, which strengthens your bond and fosters more harmony. Show me this, please. Show me this empathy. I'm hearing that song, TNT, it's dynamite, TNT. So I feel like whatever you're learning about right now, it's more of what you're interested in. Say, for example, I just looked up like the information around Outlander. So it's like you might be discovering more about this time and you are perceiving it from a more empathetic lens, right? You're learning more about history for some of you, about things that went down, things that happened. This is really interesting because this is like, yeah, I'm not exactly sure what it is that you're learning here, but it's like you feel like you're late to the party or you could have had this information sooner. There's a certain excitement within your energy, but it's not coming from a space of that intensity of this is normal. It's like, hey, I'm looking at these things now and I'm able to empathize with the people in these situations rather than consuming it as entertainment. So I hope that's making sense. I see the courage within people. However, I also see where their heart comes from in regards to why they're fighting for certain things. And then I feel like this is now being reflected within your reality. I'm being reminded of my daughter who had a school assignment. In this assignment, they were talking about the Australian settlers that came to Australia in order to, like, the British that came to Australia and took over the land. Yeah, and a lot of it is like we empathize with the people, the Aboriginal people of Australia, and as we should. However, her assignment was to write a letter from the perspective of one of these British convicts or settlers that came across here on the boat and the living conditions that they were in and things like that. She had to research what that journey was like and empathize with the people who came here to commit what we see as a crime, right? So you might be actually empathizing with somebody who has committed a crime. You may be looking over details of the life that somebody lived before they did something reckless, or the reasons why they did something, right? Because it's not necessarily that these people did this from their own free will, right? It's like looking deeper at something. Well, I didn't see this aspect of something. I didn't understand all that was going on, this person's upbringing, or why they did the things that they did, or that they were forced to do something, and you're looking deeper at it and you're able to empathize with these people. Is the way this is coming through? Like, this person, I saw them as like some sort of warrior or some sort of instigator. However, now I'm able to understand that they were doing this for their fight for freedom, something like that. Then we have family in reverse. Unresolved issues or emotional conflicts within the family are causing stress. It's time to confront these issues. So this could be like a family member that you're recognizing this about, or you might be researching somebody's family background. Yeah, there's like some sort of this is giving now I'm hearing legal drama, a legal drama. So it could be legal dramas that you're watching or something like that. Or it could be like a legal situation that played out within a family. And this is the thing, right? When Spirit speaks to us or God works through us, God will communicate to us in the spaces that we resonate and we understand. So you sometimes find yourself watching something on television and you can see the reflections of what it is that you're currently experiencing within your life, because we're in this state of relax. We're in this state of absorbing something, and Spirit will use things like television programs, TikTok, things like that to get through to us. Show me more about this family thing. It could even be that you are recognizing something about somebody's background here. It's giving this was the catalyst. I'm hearing it as catalyst. This was the catalyst in order for this outcome to present itself. So it's looking at something through a very objective lens, right? And we can look at people who we see as monsters within this reality, and then we can look a little deeper at it and learn a lot about their background, where it is that they've come from, what it is that they've been through. And it's wow, I can understand that this led to this, cause and effect kind of thing. This person has deep family trauma or deep family conflicts within their family, and they project it outwards, and they feel unsafe because they've always been in a space where they feel unsafe. And sometimes people in these positions of feeling so insecure and unsafe lead into people who are always trying to maintain control over other people. You know, if you watch a lot of true crime and things like that, it's a lot of the time when they go deeper into the background of these people who commit these crimes, they look it's oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. It doesn't make it right, but it means that I can empathize now with this person who I previously saw as some sort of monster. It's giving that. Then we have friendships in the reverse. A friendship may be experiencing difficulties or growing apart. More communication or boundaries may be needed. Okay, what is this energy? Interesting. So this is giving more about a person who became separated from people, right? Who no longer felt the tenderness, but rather was in a state of survival. Now, however this is playing out for you, they're giving these like movies, references as examples, and I feel like there's some sort of reflection that's going on here. It could be music as well, right? Because we have that musical card there. It's like, you know, when you sort of, you know, rappers, for example, you see these rappers and they have like these lifestyles that you think, I don't know if that's something to really be, you know, commending that people are living their lives this way. And then they rap about their past, their history, their struggle, what it is that they've seen, the trauma that they have experienced, the violence of living in certain communities and things like that. And you recognize, wow, this person is constantly in a state of survival. They're disconnected from love. Their family values are not the same as mine. It's giving this kind of energy. So this might be in someone in your reality that you previously saw as somewhat aggressive or somewhat tactless or rude or didn't have the same principles as you. And now you're able to recognize that, hey, this person has come from a space where they feel completely separated from the people around them. You know, they didn't have a mother, or they didn't have a father, or they didn't have, you know, the love or a happy home. Like, it was always volatile. And so they live their life in this way. Then we have decisions in the reverse. Indecision is causing delays, or you may be overthinking your options, leading to missed opportunities. What is this indecision, please? Oh, I just got like a wave of emotion, right? A wave of emotion come over me. I feel like this is making it's shifting the way that you interact with people, right? Because you're recognizing that there's some people that are just trying to hold it all together, and maybe they don't express it in the best kind of way. They want to feel stable and secure, just as you want stability and security for yourself. If anything, they need the support of people, right? But they push people away, whoever this is. They hoard their resources, you know, people who have grown up in certain environments. They hoard their resources there. And this, to us, appears, or to those who don't, it feels selfish. It feels like they're holding back from us. They're withholding love. They're withholding resources. And we're like, I don't understand why they wouldn't just give freely to me as I give freely to them. And perhaps it's because of the way that they were raised, where they were raised in poverty and they didn't necessarily have a lot to give, and they had to hold on to everything, or they didn't know where their next meal was coming from, and so they do this as a state of, like, from a state of safety, right? I need to keep myself safe. I feel like you're shining a light on this, or your perception is changing, so it's changing in the way that you now interact with these people. Like, this is decisions in reverse. I feel like you had previously made decisions about certain people and why they were the way that they were, and now it's like, I'm now uncovering more about this situation now that I've looked a little deeper into it, and I didn't necessarily recognize this. And maybe if I had known this the whole time, then I may have reacted differently to this person, but I see the reflection of their past wounds and why they do what it is that they do. Then we have creativity. Your creativity is flourishing, allowing you to bring new ideas and perspectives, right, to all areas of your life. Okay, yeah, my perspective of this person or this situation is now shifting, and I understand that they see consistent obstacles in their life because of all the rejection and that they're faced. They have a pessimistic view of the world because of the consistent blockages. And, you know, this could be you. This could be your situation, your childhood as well. So if this is you, and this is the way that you grew up and what you experienced within your family, and you felt this way and you felt unsafe consistently, be kinder to yourself, just as you would be kinder to somebody else who has experienced this. They're faced, you know, they're a product of a separated household or divorce situation, of, you know, a lack of love within a space. They couldn't play, right? As children, they couldn't play because they had to be, you know, on the lookout for volatile situations. You know, they had to learn from a very young age to take care of themselves and be self-sufficient, and they don't actually know what it's like to have somebody take care of them. They don't know what that kind of love, that kind of nurturing feels like, because they had the absence of that within their life. And so of course they're going to see me coming toward them as a challenge or a barrier or somebody that they have to tiptoe around, or an obstacle, or somebody who's trying to create setbacks within their life because of the way that they were raised, because you know they were raised in an environment where everything had to be on someone else's terms, or they had to live up to a certain level of expectation, or they were rejected. They had love withdrawn from them. And so now you perceive it as their parents created a monster. This person is a monster. This person has no empathy. But do you? Do you have empathy for this person's situation? Can you empathize with them? Or do you react to their aggression, their negativity, the way that they see everything in life as an obstacle? You know, a lot of us think, I don't understand how somebody could be like that. How somebody could do something so awful, so terrible. And I feel like this is, for this pile number 1, angels are helping you to see exactly why. They're helping you to gain a deeper level of understanding of why some people are so in their ego. And when we think about ego is the part of ourselves that comes through and says, I have to survive another day. I have to survive here in this space. And there's an energy here of like, despite me trying so hard, I know that I will consistently fail. I know that I will never live up to my own expectations, the expectations that run through my mind of what I grew up within, that I will never be good enough, that I will always be, you know, chosen last, or it doesn't matter how hard I try, nothing's going to matter. And so sometimes people, they just stop trying. They stop trying to impress people. They stop trying to improve themselves because of their sense of worthiness, right? Then we have the world in reverse. It's like they haven't necessarily learned all of the lessons that their soul came here to learn, right? And you probably haven't either, right? If you're still learning about this person, about connecting deeper to your empathy, acknowledge that they're probably learning that too. Show me some final advice, please, for those that chose pile number 1. Show me final advice, please, for those that chose pile number 1. Okay, we have disillusionment, divorce, right? This one, I said something about divorce, right? Difficulty being alone, disagreements leading to challenges in maintaining harmony. Relies heavily on others for validation, needs support in decision making, toxic or unbalanced dynamics. They have a fear of commitment, differences in goals, parental alienation, custody issues, and hiding things. This is what these people have come from, right? Then we have releasing self-imposed limitations, detrimental habits of self-sabotage, takes care of their emotional health, forgives, is self-aware, reflects often, does not hold grudges, doesn't stress about the little things. And I feel like this is the difference between who it is that you currently are becoming and who it is that they are. And rather than matching that frequency, then we have restless, agitated, angsty, nervous. And I feel like that was that nervous energy I was previously feeling about what it is that you're consuming, the things around you. You may feel like sometimes, if this is you, that sometimes you feel like you're back in a time where you're back in your childhood, like listening to your parents argue, or you know, over custody issues or whatever. And it's taking you back to a time because of the things in your environment that like trigger that state of survival. Impatient, on edge, unsettled, seeking distraction, unfulfilled, impulsive, unfocused, starting arguments out of nowhere, right? Now, ask yourself, in this circumstance, is this an aspect of you, or is this somebody that you are currently dealing with? Because even if it is someone that you are currently dealing with, perhaps this person is reflecting something within you as well that needs to be looked at. Much love to you. If this reading resonated with you, leave me a comment in the comment section, or if you'd like to book a personalized reading with me, link is in the description box. Much love. Hello, my beautiful pile number 2s. What are the angels currently helping you with in your reality? So first of all, we have the Angel of Faith. I'm going to show you these cards as we go because they're just beautiful. Show me this Angel of Faith, please. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so this is faith in the fact that you will reconnect with that innocence of yourself, right? Despite all the heartbreak that you faced, all of the sorrow, the grief, the loss, that things will return to the time that they were. Now you may be actually dealing with some, like the loss of somebody right now, and that can, you know, or some sort of crisis or a gloomy period, right? Let's just say that. Okay, we've got the Page of Swords there. And the Chariot. So this is like, I'm looking to see the time when I can move on from this, where I can put this behind me. Now, can you tell me it's go time? Like, it's giving that kind of energy. Angels, can you tell me that it's go time and it's time to move past this hurt, this betrayal, this sadness, this loss of somebody? And it's coming through as like the loss of my innocence. It could be like some sort of friendship that you have let go of, or, you know, a person. And it's like, this still hurts. This still hurts for me to look at. Tell me that there's a time where this will get easier, that this wound will heal itself. All right, then we have the Angel of Adventure. Beautiful. Show me this Angel of Adventure, please. Yeah, again, it's giving this like playful type energy, right? It's like, I remember when I used to go out and I used to play, and it could be like with this person, we used to play together, we had so much fun together. It's like, I understand that in order to create a new reality, sometimes the old chapter has to end, and sometimes things are taken from us, and sometimes that means hurt and betrayal and loss. But what about this new adventure that you keep promising me? What about leaning in to this new version of self? And the angels are coming through saying, it's okay, you're transforming right now, right? You are ascending. You're emerging into this new way of being. Then we have the Five of Wands clarifying that. But it's like, I don't feel that within. I feel this tension within my energy. I feel like I'm constantly facing challenges right now. I feel like I'm in competition with people, right? So it could be that you ended a relationship of some sort, and it's not necessarily like ended correctly, or it didn't. It's like, I don't know if we ended on good terms, if there was any closure in the situation. Like, it feels like it was weird, right? It's giving that kind of energy. So Spirit and angels are coming through saying, it depends on the way that you perceive it. It is that way because of the way that you perceive it. If you're able to perceive it from a lesson perspective, that this came into my life in order to teach me something. What did it teach me about myself, and how I'm able to transform myself now into this new version, into this adventurous version of myself that has more strength, that can like withhold a lot more like stamina within the people that I deal with. What did I learn? Like this kind of thing. Tell me more about this. There's like this anxiousness within the energy of like, this left me like, I'm still thinking about this. I can't think about like, this doesn't feel successful to me. It doesn't feel like a successful completion of the cycle, because this person is still in my heart. I still feel the loss of them. I still think about them all the time. It's giving that kind of energy. I think about the memories. I think about both positive and negative, and it's like a story that just keeps replaying. So then we have Angel of Clarity. Show me this clarity that's coming through for pile number 2, please. I just heard a coming of age. Now I'm seeing like a vision of like somebody, okay. You know when people have coming of age parties, like say for example, a 21st, things like that, and they have like a photo wall. They're showing me a photo wall, like going to a party and a photo wall, and when you look at these photo walls, these memories are significant. However, within that moment when you're looking at the photo wall, it's just like a clip that's frozen in time. What are you trying to say, please, dear Spirit? It's like, show me more. Why are you showing me this photo wall? It's like a frozen moment in time. It's something to do with the way that you're perceiving this connection, this relationship. You might be looking at old photos, right? of somebody that you spent a lot of time with. There's something in particular about like recklessness or irresponsibility. So say for example, you're looking at photos of like an ex-partner or something like that, and you're looking at it going, I was so naive at this time, like I was so irresponsible, I didn't have the wisdom that I have now. Now within those moments, you're able to see clearly the difference, like the shift. And it's like you're able to see the lessons that were learned during this time. Like gambles that you took in certain situations. You know, I have photos of things that I did that were reckless and dangerous. Right? And it's like, wow, that was a really risky time in my life where I was flying by the seat of my pants, and I've actually learned a lot since then. So there's something about looking at photos or memories from a different lens, from a different perspective, right? And it's like, how much have I evolved and changed since this time? Because when you look at this situation that happened or the person that you lost, like you might be even thinking about the lessons that this person instilled in you from a positive aspect, right? I feel the loss of them. But when I look at these photos, when I look back at these memories of that version of self, I no longer resonate with it. And I am growing and I am evolving and I am shifting and I am changing. And it's bringing clarity to this situation. You become somebody who is more practical, who is more responsible, who is more reliable. Perhaps you've taken on certain aspects of this person, like if this is somebody who was more in this sense, right? I was really reckless at that time, but I learned a lot from this person, and I learned to be more responsible depending on who this person is. Now I'm actually seeing jewelry. This is really interesting. So I wear my grandmother's ring every day. Now, my grandmother left this ring for me in her will. They're showing me this as like when I wear her ring, it means that I can embody, or I feel as though it reminds me to embody certain aspects of her, right? That I felt were really like blessings within my life, and it reminds me of certain lessons and wisdom that she passed on to me or that she told me. That doesn't mean that I don't miss her, but I feel like I carry a piece of her with me all the time. Now, if this is like an ex or something, you probably don't want to be like wearing their clothes, or that's probably a bit weird. But it's like I look back on photos of certain relationships that I was in the past, and I think, oh my goodness, how much I've grown, how much I've learned from this time, how naive I was. But I don't look back on it with negativity. I look back on it with like, look what I've evolved into. So there's certainly an energy of looking back to receive clarity within your energy. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is like a actual physical loss, like somebody who's crossed over. What did they teach me? What did I learn from them? How can I do things differently? How can I embody the lessons of the past, whether that be positive or negative, like depending on the person, obviously, and the impact that they had on your life. Like rather than looking back on this with anger, with pain, with grief, with sadness. This took a turn. This reading, I wasn't expecting that. Let's keep going. Okay, then we have responsibility in the reverse. This one says, you may feel overwhelmed by the responsibilities that you've taken on, or you're losing sight of your own needs while fulfilling others' expectations. Now, this is a thing too, because when I look back on this person, what did they want me to be? How did they perceive me, and how much am I still trying to live up to their expectations, especially if this is like a parent or something like that? Because we take on a lot from these people. We take on, you know, and if you're in a relationship with somebody for a really long time, what dynamics did you take on? Because when we enter relationships with people, we take on expectations of who they want us to be and the dynamics of the relationship that we outline. But maybe you've lost connection with who it is that you are. Yeah, there's something here about still playing out an old story. This could be like family patterns, playing out where it feels like this person is still with you in a sense. And again, for some of you, this is a negative experience. This is like, I feel like I have my ex's voice in my head that tells me that I don't, I can't buy that car because it's not economical. Like just little things like that. Or this person left an impression on me, and it's really identifying which of these is helping me in my current reality and which of these is not. It's like, it feels like, what's the word? Thank you. Alliance. It feels like whoever this person is, you're still in an alliance. You created an alliance with this person in some sense. We decided together that this is how we were going to express ourselves and express our love. And I have this person with me wherever I go. There's an old story that's playing out here, but you're being asked to examine, is this positive or negative? Does this give you like fulfillment in your current everyday life? Or are there certain aspects of this, like they're showing me like a portal. So if you were existing within a specific realm of relationship with this person, that you can create a new portal and take with you all of the things that you want to take with you from this previous chapter, and leave painful memories behind or things that no longer serve you. You can recreate the story and it doesn't lose its magic, is the way this is coming through. There's also an energy of, you may be, if this is somebody in the spirit world, it's like you may be having dreams of them at this time. They may have come to you in visitations and things like that. Astral traveling with them, that's beautiful. Yeah, how many things am I carrying from this relationship that are disappointments? Do I need to carry the things that remind me of how this person disappointed me or how I disappointed them? Why am I still carrying these things if this person is no longer existing in the same way with me, right? This person has passed on, this person has moved on with somebody else. It's like, I can allow this to leave. I can move on from this, but still cherish the parts of this that help me to grow into the person that I am, kind of thing. Then we have memories in the reverse. This one says, you may be dwelling too much on past memories, missing out on the present and future opportunities for love. Yeah, that's right. Well, that makes sense. Hang on, I'll drop one on the floor. I just heard like, that's not how I remember it. That's not how I remember it. This is interesting too, because you can have it's almost identical experience in regards to your relationships, especially when you're children and you have siblings and you grow up in the same house together, but you have completely different perspective of the experience that you previously experienced. So you might be looking back on a relationship thinking, I really value this connection and what it taught me and things like that. And the other person in the connection might be like, I don't deal with part number 2. I don't want to have anything to do with them. They destroyed me. We had a terrible relationship. And it's like, this energy is coming up about painful memories, and it doesn't really matter, because all that really matters is the experience that you are currently shaping for yourself. It doesn't matter what the other person's perspective is. I mean, it matters to them, and it matters for the way that they view the world and the future that they're creating and the memories that they take with them. However, you shouldn't allow it to impact your memories either. So you might actually have somebody bringing up some negativity or some painful memories for you, or trying to, like, I'm seeing like those pencils with like the eraser on the end. It's like, erase the way that you view something or erase a certain experience. Now this could be you doing this, or it could be somebody else around you that's like, that's not how it happened, this was actually this and this. And it's like, I actually wanted to hold on to that specific memory in the way that I remembered it. I didn't need to know about the toxicity that was going on behind the scenes, especially when we're children. Like, sometimes people will it's giving the energy of like, people will sometimes hide things from children, right? Because they don't need to know everything. And then you find out when you get older, oh, this has actually happened behind the scenes, and this was going on, like adult stuff that you didn't need to know at that time. And it still hurts, like, as an adult, to hear certain things like that. So you might be experiencing this at this time. Or this can be like, you're in a relationship with somebody and it ends, you don't necessarily see eye to eye, and then like years later, somebody tells you, oh, by the way, when you were with this person, they were cheating on you the whole time. And it's like, well, I didn't necessarily need to know that now. It's not helpful for me. Or You know, I don't need to know that this person said this about me or felt a particular way about me or was talking badly about me to other people. Then we have collaboration in the reverse. Disagreements or misunderstandings are hindering collaboration, leading to frustration and delays. Show me this, please. There's a lot of childhood stuff coming up right now because this is kind of similar to pole number 1. But this is like, I want to prove to this person something. I want to prove that I have the endurance, the talent, the skills, the abilities in order to achieve something, right? It might be because this person shamed you for something, found fault in you in some way. And it's like, I'm going to prove to them, especially if this is somebody who's passed over to the spirit world, that I can carry this legacy, that I can be the person that they wanted me to be. But it's coming from a space of shame. So just be mindful of this, like self-doubt. You know, you can move on from these memories that made you feel as though you couldn't live up to somebody's expectations, right? Or you weren't enough for them in a relationship. These things that you carry, the things that, you know, your partner would scold you for. You know, you shouldn't be like this and you shouldn't be like that. And this is appropriate and that's appropriate. Like, it's giving that kind of energy. This energy is here to remind us of the people around us that shape our belief systems about who it is that we are. Perhaps you've got an old tape of some previous relationship that's running rent-free in your mind about how things played out and how you could have become better and things like that. Whereas this is like, this energy is coming through saying it's okay to move on from this space now, from these belief systems and the way that things have always been done that you carry with you. You don't need to make this your truth. Then we have inspiration. You're in a phase of great inspiration. Every aspect of your work feels exciting and creativity flows effortlessly. Again, we've got that clarifies that angel of clarity energy too. So there's an inspiration coming through here where you are deciding to make peace with these aspects of yourself, right? It may actually be that you sit in silence and connect with like a spirit that has passed and thank them for what it is they taught you, whether positive or negative. You're able to see the prosperity, the abundance in what it is that you experience with this person. There's an energy of, I understand that this person made bad choices that went against this relationship or made bad choices within their connections and their relationships. However, I see a reflection of that in myself and I understand that I shouldn't idealize. It's giving this energy, like maybe you idealized a relationship or you idealized a parent and then it disappointed you because of a choice that they made, but you're moving into a space where you're like, I guess I forgive you, right? I understand that none of us are perfect. You're making peace with it, right? Then we have teamwork in the reverse. Disagreements and misunderstandings in teamwork are slowing progress. It's time to realign strategies and expectations. Beautiful. So there's some sort of like repairing of a previous relationship that's happening here, but it doesn't necessarily have to be happening without. It's happening within. It's happening in the way that you're thinking about it. How you didn't collaborate nicely with people in the past, people that couldn't get on. Maybe it wasn't specifically you, but it was certain family members that couldn't get along with each other. And it's like, you don't have to necessarily delve deep into it or understand it, or the way that you remember it is the way that you're examining it. Okay, we've got the tower here. Why is the tower here? It's like you're blowing up the old foundation. I've made peace with this now. I bring love into this situation. I have compassion for all involved, right? I no longer see this situation as something that has to hold me back, that has to keep me stuck in a previous timeline with this person, within this relationship or whatever it is that this was. I can appreciate it for what it was. And I can release the trauma, the sorrow, the grief, the loss that left me broken as I close this chapter. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't have to feel anxious about this anymore. I don't have to feel like I have to escape my emotions when it comes up about this person. I no longer feel as though I want a glass of wine whenever this thought or experience comes up. It's absolutely beautiful. Show me any final advice for pile number 2. Yeah, so for a lot of you, this is like painful memories about a past relationship. So we have enslaved, being controlled or under a bad influence, living with a difficult person or controlling partner. Walk away in the best way that you can. Greed, temptation, and materialism, lust, and negative ways of relating leaves you unsatisfied. Yeah, you're like enslaved to an idea about something that happened in the past, and you don't need to take those negative memories with you. You can take the positive ones. Indecisive, being blind to someone's manipulation. Trust your intuition if you feel someone is dishonest. Investigate things more closely. Information overload. Remove the blinders and look at a situation differently. So it's like, yeah, because of the way that you're perceiving it, right, it becomes a negative experience that keeps replaying. Deception, lies, and cheats their way through. Be careful of seeing things through rose-colored glasses. Someone who victimizes others. You are a victim of deception, feeling lost and disillusioned. Uses escapism or addiction to avoid or evade pain. Easily tricks people, is vulnerable to influences because they don't have any boundaries. And this is this story where it's like, I don't want to be deceived again. I don't want to be on the raw end of that. I don't want to be back in that past situation that you're consistently identifying with, but rather looking at the growth that you've had since you were in this space. Yes, a lot of the, I had an ex that cheated on me, right? And I have memories from that time. I don't look at that person with disdain or anything like that. I look at that person as like, look how far I've come, that I'm no longer in alignment with somebody like that. All right. If this reading resonated with you, leave me a comment down in the comment section. And if you'd like to book a personalized reading with me, link is in the description box. Much love. Hello, my beautiful pile number threes. Let's have a look. What are the angels assisting you with right now at this time? First of all, we have the angel of gratitude. I will be showing you these cards because they're absolutely beautiful. Show me the angel of gratitude. Okay, so they're helping you to be able to see through any confusion, right? The victim mentality. So you're moving out of a space of, this hurts me. I can no longer move in this space because of what has happened to me, and unraveling the hurts, right? There seems to be a bit of a theme going on today. Like, this makes me bitter. This makes me sad. Yeah, 10 of Swords. So this is like where I was betrayed and I didn't have a choice. They're helping you to find gratitude in the lessons that you have previously experienced. Betrayals, endings, loss. Now, I can choose to see this as I was a victim of circumstance, or I can choose to see it differently. Beautiful. Then we have the angel of music. Great. Show me this energy, please. What is the angel of music for my beautiful pile number threes? So this is in regards to something that happened that seemed unfair or unjust in a situation, and it probably was, right? However, this is like maybe somebody took a lack of accountability for the way that they treated you previously. And I'm actually really drawn to this music card because, sometimes when we're in this space, we can connect to certain music. Like, say, for example, we go through a heartbreak. We really connect and heal through the sounds of people who are reliving their stories and their experience. And it's like we find joy and pleasure and healing in these moments. However, I feel like you're shifting the frequency. You're shifting the narrative into something that now feels like I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to say no to this way of being, to this sadness, to the disappointment, to seeing myself as a victim in this situation, to stop listening to the songs that tell me that I'm broken, right? And you're shifting what it is that you are consuming. And this is interesting because we had a similar message to this in one of the previous piles, to now feeling as though I'm taking action forward. Maybe you're switching up the sad music to listen to some sort of motivational podcast or something like that. It's like the frequency that you're receiving right now, and this again seems to be a theme today. It's like it's making me feel now empowered, right? It's making me feel, and perhaps it's the spirit frequency that you're shifting to, that you are moving into a space of wonder and magic and connection to the divine. It's like, now I feel connected to this. It makes me feel guided. It makes me feel supported. It makes me feel like angels have my back, and like I no longer have to stay in this space. Now, the space that you're in when you experience the loss, it's not a negative thing to be listening and identifying with different sounds of people who are on that heartbreak frequency, or on that, you know, and it might just be things that you're consuming as well, like videos of people, you know, identifying with the pain or talking about their trauma, or they experience something similar. And you can shift frequency, like change, it's giving like change radio stations. Then we have the angel of past issues. Show me this frequency, please. Frequency? That was interesting. I just heard like, I've learned all I can here. I've learned all I can here. It's giving the energy of like, I'm exchanging data. I'm exchanging data with the outside world and the people around me. And I can be very careful in the data that I exchange. So they're helping you in order to examine the way that you talk to certain people, the language that you use in regards to your manifestation, what you communicate to others, being critical of other people and your situation, or viewing it through a negative lens and putting that out there into the universe. I'm hearing like they're always listening. Who's they? They're always listening? Yeah, always listening to your burdens, always listening, you know, and perhaps you are always listening as well, right? You're always listening to the Ten of Wands, the things in your life that create burden and struggle for you. And you're hearing other people talk about their negative experiences, and you're like, hey, I really identify with that. That makes me feel seen. It makes me feel heard. And then maybe you talk about your struggle and your burdens with somebody else, and then you're like, they're listening and they can relate and they can connect with you on this specific level. However, it's like you're shifting to now, like, not like it's not a major shift. It's a shift of like, hey, I'm shifting it now. So where I'm adding a little aspect in where I feel empowered. I want to now shift to a frequency or change to the channel where people overcame the struggle, where they overcame the pain, where they overcame the disappointment, and they started to no longer see themselves as a victim of a situation, but the, you know, reading books about people who overcame adversity, you know, that kind of thing. It's like I'm shifting frequencies and they're helping you with this. So it's like they're sending you people who overcame a certain level of struggle, people who found their way out, who strategized their way out. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles, somebody who became stronger, more self-sufficient, who created something for themselves, right? This is somebody who is incredibly successful in the Nine of Pentacles. So this is people who maybe face a lot of challenges, a lot of struggles within their life, and now they have a lot of success and achievements as a reward for bringing themselves back out of it. And this is what's shifting around you. So they're showing me the algorithms. So this is like the algorithm of life. It's interesting, as a collective, we're all going through similar things. Yeah, you're being sent collaboration of people who lost the faith and then found it again, right? Who felt disconnected, who were in a state of despair because, you know, or negativity, because they understand what it is that you've experienced. And then they moved into a space where they could rejoice, where they could appreciate, and, you know, they gained more community, and they, you know, turned their pain into purpose. Like these kind of people. Interesting. It's like you're being sent a team. However that looks, like we are in an age of instant communication, right? You may be finding that just certain things that are happening, programs that you're watching, people that you follow and things like that are shifting or changing, or you're seeing, yeah, different things pop up in your algorithm of life, right? Beautiful. Then we have Angel of Balance. Beautiful. Show me this energy of Angel of Balance for pile number 3. Oh, I just got tingles. You're being sent like a crew, right? A crew of people that can help work with you in order to master a certain skill or ability. So this could be like people who, yeah, like who mastered their state of being. They're showing me like it's like martial arts. They're showing me like a martial artist. Somebody who trained to be still within the chaos. So you might be guided toward like certain like Zen teachings and things like that. Somebody who has mastered their craft in regards to generating wealth and things like that. If that's something that you're trying to create for yourself, it's like you're being guided toward these people so that you can co-create with these people. And this might require some form of investment as well. It's like, yeah, it's like ending an illusion where you no longer feel content within a space. Okay, I've understood that I've leaned into the pain and I no longer feel like safe here, or I no longer feel happy here, and it's time to lift myself out. And you came to this realization by yourself, and now Spirit's like, hey, we're sending help, and we're sending help in a frequency. It's a new frequency, but it's not like, hey, I am incredibly abundant right now. It is, hey, this is how I left this previous frequency and stopped identifying with the victim mentality, and this is how I did it. It's like they're teaching you, they're teachers, they're guides, they're mentors, and they may not look that way, right? It may just be somebody who's like, hey, I went through this and then I evolved and I changed and I blossomed and I learned and I mastered my own emotions, and now I'm incredibly abundant. It's giving that kind of energy. So an example of this is like, maybe you were somebody who was on the fluffy side, like a little robust, you know, somebody who's curvy, somebody who really identifies with embracing the skin that you're in and this kind of thing. And then you decide, I don't want to live this way anymore. I no longer want to settle for like being this way or identifying with people who are like showing off their curves, and I'd rather be somebody who is more disciplined in order to change this within my life. Now you've put this order out into the universe. This is just an example. You put this order out into the universe, and the universe has gone, great. So now they're sending you all kinds of like gym content, or people who are teaching you better like ways of eating and things like this that resonate with where you're at right now. It's like you shifted frequency, and now the universe is responding in that way. And the angels are saying, lean into this new way of being. Then we have empathy. You deeply empathize in your relationships. Understanding others' feelings and strengthening your bonds will foster harmony. Show me this energy, please. So they want you to celebrate while you empathize with the people who are in this previous version, and you understand what it's like to be there because you have experienced it. You've experienced the pain, you've experienced the victim mentality. You're not seeing these people as like stuck in a specific space. You are saying, hey, I was there too, and I understand where it is that you're at, and I empathize with your situation, and I see the beauty within the space that you're in and the healing space that you're in. However, Spirit is coming through saying it's time to celebrate these new agreements, these agreements that you've made. And sometimes that means leaving some people behind that you previously saw as very nourishing to your soul, right? It doesn't make these people any less significant. It's like, are you ready to form deeper bonds with these new people? Beautiful. So it's whatever this is, these people, these leaders that you're now being connected with, they have higher standards for themselves. Again, that doesn't mean that they're any better than the people who are resonating with their pain, this kind of thing. But they have a different idea about these people. So you might find that these people are constantly talking about these other people that you were previously resonating with as being lazy. Like, say for example, the gym example, these people are lazy, these people don't love themselves, they have self-limiting beliefs and things like that. So you might find with these new contracts that these people are a little bit prickly in the way that they believe things, because you deeply resonated with being the victim of your circumstances. It's like sometimes people communicate a little harshly. Like, this is the energy of like, you need to have discipline if you want to stop identifying with this victim mentality. And this might be giving you a little bit of the ick, right? This is coming through this way. But you don't need to, I'm hearing like poverty mindset, you know. You don't need to identify necessarily with all of the aspects of these new people, but just take on what it is that inspires you about these people. That's like, it's giving the energy of like, these people that you are connecting with, these new guides, there's a certain separation between us and them. These people live this way because they're lazy, because they don't want to do the work, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's giving that kind of energy. The angels are coming through saying, we want you to recognize the importance and not the separation between the previous people and where it is that you are now. Like, the previous version of self that you previously identified with. It's not that they are broken. It's not that they are lazy, that they don't want to do the work. It's that they are in a state of evolution. You have shifted your frequency to align with something else, but it doesn't disconnect from the importance of those who are like delving deep into their pain and putting their pain out there, and they feel stuck and they feel sad, and you can still empathize with these people. With this empathy card here, I see you, I understand you, and it doesn't make me better than you that I'm now doing something else about it. Don't feel as though you need to take on the energy of these new people that you're aligned with. That doesn't mean you have to call these people out, because you might feel that way. It's like, remember that there is no separation, that we all are one, right? And this person's pain is also my pain, because I previously identified with this pain of this person. So just be mindful of that. Then we have friendships in the reverse. A friendship may be experiencing difficulties or growing apart. More communication or boundaries may be needed. Yeah, so you have to make very difficult decisions about people that you previously identified with, people that you felt connected to in some way. Spirit understands that disconnecting from these people means that we're no longer blending frequencies the same way that we were. It's about really understanding who you are and what you currently identify with, because I can still love this person and I can still appreciate their journey. However, I don't have to make their story my story, because I'm the creator of my own story. The same way that these new people, they may view these previous people from a tainted lens, but you don't have to make that your story. And it may feel a little disconnecting, like you're in the in-between. Or you may feel like, I can't fully commit to this new way of being if I don't discard this previous frequency, right? It's like somebody's offering you a new opportunity to create more wealth, to create more health, to create more happiness, but they're saying it in a way that it's like, you have to stop the old way of being. Do you know what I mean? And Spirit is coming through saying, like, you can still manifest. Like, it's supposed to be from a state of fun. It's like the way that this is coming through is like, you need to reject an old way of being, the old aspect of yourself, in order to free yourself, right? This is what these new people are saying. You need to stop hanging out with these friends. You need to stop for like engaging in these bad habits of previous behaviors. And it's like, I can embrace that part of me without necessarily identifying wholly with it. Do you know what I mean? Like the way this is coming through. And then we have growth in the reverse. You may be resisting growth due to fear of change, leading to stagnation and lack of progress. Yeah, I feel like these people are pointing out a lack of growth within others, a lack of progress. They're asking you to be very decisive. It's like they're creating a state of fear, is the way that this is going. Fear, if you don't do this way, you're going to return to these old people and this victim mentality and this lack of, it's giving that kind of energy. Now, this is the space in which they manifest from, right? But you need to look at what is it that you are manifesting, right? If they're saying you need to cut off family members and you need to do this, you need to do that. Yeah, you need to leave all these toxic energies behind. It's a very like all or nothing kind of energy that's coming through here. And I do understand that when we commit to a new way of being, we do require a certain level of discipline, right? But don't disconnect from the heart space and go into a space of separation, is the message here. It's giving like, you need to reclaim your power, and in order to reclaim your power, you can no longer identify with these people or talk to these people. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, do what feels right, right? Then you have family in the reverse. Unresolved issues or emotional conflicts within the family are causing stress. It's time to confront these issues. Because, yeah, these people are saying, like, something without of you is consistently causing you, they're projecting that it's something without of you, but it's actually something within you. So you feel like, I need to, like, sign this new contract, but like, I'm literally saying, like, sign a contract. So I need to sign this new contract in order to align with this new frequency, and it comes with all these rules and regulations of how it is that I'm supposed to be now. Like, it's giving that. They may even ask you to make some sort of, like, declaration to yourself. Like, if you want to change your life, you must, like, live by all these rules. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I can just align with the new frequency in each moment. Like, it's about the commitment that you're making to yourself. And they're like, no, it has to be more than that if you want to completely change your life, is the way that it's coming through. Like, it's like, I will not accept this past version of me. And it's about shifting frequencies. Like, the angels are coming through saying you can be a little bit more delicate about it. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have, because separation from these people is complete separation from your past version of self. Then we have intimacy. This one says, a deep emotional bond connects you to someone special. Trust, compassion, and support strengthen this relationship. Yeah, because you've developed these deep bonds, right, with these people from your past algorithm. It feels, yeah, I'm hearing collapse. It feels like a collapse of the old structure. And there's a different way of going about it. This might cause you, like, a lot of anxiety, right? It's like aligning myself with these previous people who I felt so intimately connected to, right? Because their soul, their pain resonated with me on such a deep level. Comes with all these strings attached where it's like draining of all my frequency, and I'm not going to be able to evolve into the person that I want to be if I connect with these people, if I talk to these people, if I, you know, I'm just going to be left disappointed. There's a certain level of grief that comes with leaving people like this behind. So, because it's a grieving period, it's grieving these people, grieving the aspects of yourself. So don't think of it as like an all or nothing. I can just completely cut these people off and release them. Or it's like, I say no, I release the burden of these old stories and these people. Yes, okay, when we're thinking manifestation, it is about shifting frequencies. However, it can be a beautiful thing. You don't have to taint it with such negativity. Like, this person is wrong, I no longer identify with these people and they drag me down, and they, you know what I mean? Like, it's it doesn't have to be so all or nothing. It can be like dancing into the next, you know, frequency. It can be soft. It can be, each day I elevate my energy. And it doesn't mean that like these people around you are wrong. Yeah, I'm just getting some final advice for you. We have persistence. Take responsibility seriously. Be diligent, reliable. Yeah, this is like the new frequency, right? These people, these new leaders, and yeah, they might do things that way, right? But they're all the way in where they've developed, they've mastered their ability. And you're in like the fluctuating energy of stepping from one vibration, frequency into another, right? When they did that, they didn't just like cut everything up, or probably not, right? This one says, you need to take your responsibility seriously. You must be diligent, reliable, have concrete plans, value your stability. You have to work hard. You need to follow through. You need to work through boring but essential tasks, right? And I feel like they're coming from a good place. They're coming from a good place. However, the next one that we have here is exhaustion. Has a tendency to be overbearing, feels jaded when not receiving attention. They're in an identity crisis and have a lack of self-confidence. They lack empathy. Right, tit for tat mentality, one-upping. Yeah, it's giving like we are better than them because we put in the work, right? These people are still overweight, like with the overweight example, you know. Then we have repression, conflicts and misunderstandings within partnerships. Yeah, it's like they have become disconnected from the aspect of themselves that they used to be, or they've started to see this previous aspect of themselves with a negative, tainted lens of reality. Like, I hated that person that I was because that person couldn't manifest anything, because that person was poor, but it's like, think of it as like an evolution that you are stepping into. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can be, hey, I wake up today and I do things that are aligned with this new frequency that I am becoming, and I don't eat that block of chocolate because it's no longer aligned with who it is that I am. Not like so harsh, like I can't have that because it's going to keep me fat. You know what I mean? Like, then we have restful. Prioritize your self-care. Be peaceful, balanced, and calm. Be free from agitation. Think clearly. Undisturbed, unhurried, centered, going with the flow. Takes time out to enjoy the smaller things in life. Yeah, it's like flowing into the new frequency, right? And yeah, you're going to come across people that are going to be incredibly intense, but Spirit will be sending you these people anyway. And just be mindful of these kind of people who are non-empathetic, because that's where they're at in their journey, and they have mastered, because they're coming through as masters, they have mastered their ability to manifest. Doesn't mean that you have to jump from where you are to that level, right? Because this comes with the discipline that they have learned over time. They've built discipline. You are in a state of like, hey, I'm still dancing between realities. I'm still moving slowly into this new frequency, and you can do it in a playful manner, and you can do it in a curious manner, and you can do it from a place of inspiration. Don't necessarily fall into the trap of some of these people coming through that are saying, hey, it has to be all or nothing. You have to let go of all these toxic people in your life and all these toxic habits. You know what I mean? Like, you can slowly reintegrate, you know, parts of the previous self into the current self and create new frequencies, right? Dance into the new frequency like it's an adventure, because it is. Thank you so much. If this reading resonated with you, you can leave me a comment in the comment section, or if you would like to book a personalized reading with me, link is in the description box. Much love. Hello, my beautiful pile number 4s. Let's have a look at what the angels are currently assisting you with in your reality. So first of all, we have the angel of challenges. That's not the best way to start, but let's have a look. Show me more about these challenges. Angels are helping with these challenges. So they're helping you to create stamina, right? Within these challenges, be diligent, be persistent in what it is that you have previously promised to yourself. They're teaching you hard work. They're teaching you that you can create something that you previously thought was difficult to create. They're asking you to roll up your sleeves. And they're showing you new ways of doing things. So they're showing you, they're showing you how to overcome your challenges. However, we are in a Saturn retrograde, right? So the way that this is coming through is like, you're going to have to pull up your sleeves and you're going to have to do a little more, right? You're going to have to commit to yourself. You're going to have to commit to this new way of being. You can't be lazy, right? You can't be wasteful of your resources. This kind of thing. It's like, you can't be overspending all the time. It's giving like a little delicate slap on the wrist where it's like, hey, I can take some responsibility for the challenges that I'm currently facing within my reality, within my life, right? And it's not like, it's like, hey, if you want this, this is going to have to change. It's coming through as like a very obvious, this is where you're being wasteful with your energy, time, resources. We're showing this to you so that you can make a change. And it's going to require some form of discipline, right? So it's like, maybe you're facing like, say for example, like a health crisis, and Spirit is like, hey, your doctor has told you need to cut out this specific thing, otherwise it's going to continue to fester or get worse. However, if you want healing, that is absolutely available to you, but you're going to have to play by the rules. You know what I mean? Okay, so then we have the angel of love. Beautiful. Show me this angel of love. Yeah, they're giving you a strategy. They're showing you the rules of the game, how to play the game, how to avoid accidents. like how to overcome disappointment and how to clean up the mess. Like it's coming through as like your particular pile is like they're giving you the map, the blueprint, whether this comes through some sort of like mental or if this comes through some sort of inspiration here. They're giving you the rules. Here's the rules. It's actually coming through, and it's not the usual angelic energy that I experience. I work with archangels, but they're like, sometimes they come through with more of a like firm hand, but they're not like you have to do this. They're like, here's the strategy, here's the path, here's the blueprint. Now, whether or not you choose to take this path is up to you. Yeah, it requires hustle, grind. This is where your block is. This is what caused you to have this appear in your reality. This is where you've had a false start or a lack of direction here. And here's the strategy in order to get yourself out. Yeah, you can fix this, right? Five of Swords in the reverse. Now, Five of Swords is like a very conflictive energy. It's like, hey, I have all these challenges within my life. People are fighting with me. There is like past resentment that's coming up here. It's like they're giving you a strategy like you can cut these cords with these people so they no longer affect your energy, but that's going to mean that you no longer engage in any conflicts with these people. And you're like, okay, well, that sounds simple. The way that's coming through is like, it sounds simple, but in reality, when confronted consistently with these negative people or challenges that they're throwing at me, it's difficult actually putting it into play. Like it's going to require more of yourself, you know, like you can't just like romanticize the fact that this is going to be easy, because it's a challenge that is in the way that you express your energy, right? It could be like they said, you have to give up a certain habit. And it's like, okay, well, that sounds easy, but I've had this habit for 10 years. I do this every day. You know what I mean? Like, and then we have Angel of Remembrance. Beautiful. Show me this Angel of Remembrance, please. Ooh. Okay, so this is bringing us back to a time of childhood. Well, I remember that I've always been this way, or I've always acted this way because I was in a situation where I needed this particular habit or responsibility in order to feel as though I wasn't defenseless in a situation, that I could handle something. I had no choice but to react this way or have this habit about myself. It's like they're leading you into a time where you developed this particular habit or strategy in way of dealing with things, and you're probably going to make excuses for it, right? Yeah, well, I had to be this way, right? Now, angels are coming through saying they understand. They understand why you had to develop this certain strategy or habit that is no longer working for you. However, we're going to gently and lovingly show you a new strategy in a way of dealing with things. We understand that there was a time that you felt abandoned, unsupported, unloved within your past, and you had to develop this strategy to feel safe. The Moon energy and the Three of Cups in reverse. This is going to require going back to a time, right? We want you to remember where this came from so that we can dismantle it, because we are wanting to show you that the strategy that you previously used is no longer applicable. It no longer requires you to behave in this way, because this new reality that you're creating for yourself doesn't include all this hostility. You're no longer a child. You no longer have to feel vulnerable or unsafe, or you're no longer victimized in the way that you previously were victimized. There's hope in this situation. We're going to show you the beauty within your reality so that you can no longer have to identify with this previous version of self. However, it's going to take hard work. And the reason why it's going to take hard work is because this has been your way of being, your way of reacting for a really, really long time. Then we have Angel of New Beginnings. We'll show you the way. We'll walk with you if you want to take a step through this door. However, it is up to you. It's up to you. I'm seeing, what is that, bus? They're showing me, like, the bus in Harry Potter. Why are they showing me there? Oh, you know, like, in Harry... in Harry Potter, I don't know if you're a Harry Potter fan, but... And they go on this bus, and then there's, like, this little head, that, like, little talking head, and it's like, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's like, they understand that it's going to be a bumpy ride. Sometimes in order to get to a new magical destination, we have to do things that are uncomfortable, fearful. The doorway is scary, is the way that they're showing it. Okay, now they're showing me platform 9 3/4. So if you're a Harry Potter fan again, you go to platform 9 3/4 and you just run toward like what looks like a wall. But it actually takes you to the train to Hogwarts, which is like a new magical reality. And so they're saying, like, it's going to be scary to look at this. Like, it's like, I understand behind this door is all my baggage, all my unresolved issues, all the things I've been trying to hold together, and I don't feel necessarily prepared for the journey, like, on the train to Hogwarts, right? Yeah, 9 of Swords. This gives me anxiety, even thinking about it, revisiting this. And now I'm hearing that song from Willy Wonka. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. If you want to change the world, there's nothing to it. So you can change your reality by stepping through this doorway. However, there's things there that's meaning that you're going to have to look at yourself, and sometimes looking at yourself is painful, right? Especially if we have previously identified with like all of the challenges that we're facing being something that is happening outside of us and we're the victim of this circumstance. And this is going to require you to go, hey, maybe I had some part in creating this within my reality because of the thought systems and belief systems that I previously identified with. Your pure natural vibration is the vibration of love with this card here. Sometimes things happen within our lives where we get disconnected from it. And you're like, okay, well, you know, choosing love, choosing peace, choosing like that all sounds very good in theory, but in reality, it's difficult. It's something that makes me feel unsafe, and that's what they're wanting you to look at. The part of you that feels unsafe to explore here, right? Just like ramming into a wall at platform 9 3/4 feels unsafe. It feels like it's not the right thing to do. I'm going to hurt myself if I do that. And it's like, no, I'm going to learn. I'm going to evolve. I'm going to go to Hogwarts and I'm going to make friends and I'm going to rediscover the magic that I'm capable of creating, right? I'm going to learn some new spells. It's beautiful. But Spirit is giving you the blueprint. It's giving you a new strategy. You're like, you might deny it at first. Like, you want me to do what now? You want me to run full force at that wall that could potentially destroy me, or, you know, give me a big bump on the head or break a bone potentially? That sounds dangerous. And what they're saying is it's going to sound dangerous because that's your previous version of being that's making it seem that way. Then we have decisions. This one says, you're at a critical decision point in your life. Making a clear and confident choice will lead to positive outcomes. It's about deciding who it is that you want to be. I'm getting the energy here of like you are suspended between two realities, right? The reality of the person that you would like to be, the peaceful version of yourself, and the person of who it is that you are, or who you've always believed yourself to be. It's going to require you to detach a little from the past stories, the past way of being. Again, we've got the 7 of Swords here, which is like a strategy. Now I'm hearing like it feels unsafe. It feels unsafe in order to do this, because just as this is a strategy to create a new reality for yourself, you feel as though everybody else around you has a strategy in order to serve their best self. And what if I get caught up in somebody else's strategy and I feel like discontent within this new reality? What if I'm not happy here? It's like, are you happy where you are? Now, this is something that you've thought about for a long time, or you've been like guided, right, with the High Priestess here. It's like, I have an inner knowing that my subconscious wants to unravel this previous version of me and step into listening to my higher self and who it is that I want to be internally. However, it's something that I talk about, or I don't necessarily implement the actions, and maybe I do, like maybe I dabble in this new way of being for a little while, but then I give up on it and I go back to the old story or way of being. And it's like Spirit is coming through. He's like, what exactly is the message here, Spirit? I lost that. The Tower. Wow, this is like, okay. So for some people, in order to change their way of being, it takes like a tower, a complete destruction of a previous way of being, like something shocking, something drastic. Spirit is coming through saying, is that what it's going to take for you? Is that what it's going to take for you in order to release yourself of this trappedness, of this stuckness? Does it have to take a tower? A lot of times we only change our way of being when we feel completely lost and depleted, but I feel like you're almost there. You're almost in the space of like, this way of being is just not serving me anymore. I feel emotional. I'm consistently facing challenges, and it's because you're not living in the authentic way of being that you perceive your higher self to be, right? I'm engaging in conflicts. I'm getting caught up in drama. I am, engaging in these habits that don't serve me. Spirit is saying, for some people it takes like a health crisis. It takes something like that. Are you going to wait? Are you going to wait? I'm hearing now, I don't want to wait. What? I don't want to wait. I don't want to wait for our lives to be over. I want to know right now, what will it be? What will it be? Will it be yes, or will it be sorry? So is it like, sorry, Spirit, I'm not ready? Or is it, yes, I'm ready. I'm ready to do the hard stuff. I'm ready to put in the work here. So then next up we have coexistence in reverse. Overdependence or blurred boundaries may be causing you to lose your sense of self in a relationship. It's time to reclaim your personal space and independence. Show me more about this energy. So there's something within your energy feels as though you're being punished, right? This is the way of viewing things. This has happened because of like some sort of punishment, or it feels like Spirit or the universe is trying to make a mockery of me or punish me for something. Show me more about this energy. And the universe, Spirit's coming through saying, that's unlikely. Unlikely? I just heard, who am I when nobody is watching? If you are to think about your purest essence and the way that you embody your frequency, if nobody was around to watch, who is it that you would be? Would you be somebody who punishes others? Would you be somebody who ridicules others? Is that who you are behind the scenes? If nobody would find out, would you make fun of others? Would you project pain upon others? Or would you be somebody who is purity, who is light, right? You don't need to feel guilt or negativity about who it is that you previously became. You can just release the old story. Now I'm seeing that platform 9 3/4 again. Now these wizards, they're not just like wizards overnight. It's not like, yeah, like you're a wizard, Harry. Boom, now you're a wizard, right? It is, we go to Hogwarts and we spend a lot of time there and we develop different strategies and we learn different techniques in order to be who it is that we were always born to be. Now he was born a wizard. He didn't necessarily want to be a wizard, but there was something within him that he always, like, you know what I mean? Like he always identified with being special. He was chosen. Now they're also showing me in regards to, there's like, he was like famous, right? He was well known. There was a lot of stories around him that he didn't necessarily identify with, right? Because he did something when he was a baby. This is coming through as well, where it's like he had to live up to certain expectations, and they're saying that you don't have to live up to expectations of anyone or what anyone expects you to be. No one expects you to be perfect. No one expects you to be love and light all the time. Just choose that which resonates with you within and who it is that you are, the full expression of your energy. However, if you want to be an asshole, be an asshole unapologetically. You know what I mean? If you want to be somebody who is, if you like a little drama in your life, engage in a little bit of drama. Dip your toe in a little bit of drama. There's no right and wrong. You are creating the reality of who it is that you are. Or if you want to be somebody who extends love and peace and is allowed to be vulnerable and is committed to embracing a higher frequency, then be that. Then be that. There's no right or wrong. You choose. Then we have boundaries in the reverse. This one says, boundaries are blurred or being overstepped, leaving you feeling overwhelmed or drained. It's time to reinforce your limits. And this is the energy of like, but I need to have boundaries with people because otherwise they're going to take advantage of me. And in order to embrace like this part of myself, I need to be firm with the people around me. And Spirit's like, do you? Do you? Or is this what you have learned about society? Can you create peace with people even when they are pushing your boundaries? Can you react from a space of non-reactiveness, right? How do you respond? Can you cease fire on things that you have engaged in that are quite toxic, right? Can you make amends with people who have hurt you? Now, again, Spirit is saying, what do you want to do? What does your higher version of self want to do? Not what you are forced to do, not that there is only one way or one vibration of love that you must express at all times. How do you feel within? If you were to put your ego aside that says that you have to defend and you have to fight and from a space of fear, who are you then? The moon energy. Yeah, if you weren't responding from a space of fear, who would you be? Would you be somebody that was incredibly charming, that romanticizes life, that just leaps into every opportunity with like passion and dances through life? Or do you identify with being a Queen of Wands in reverse, somebody who it's important to them to react to what is given? Like, I will give you the energy that you give me. You may be more identified with the person who, if you come at me some type of way, I will knock your head off. I will give you what you give me. Like, are you somebody who wants to match that energy? Or if you were to listen to your higher self, what is of importance to you in the spirit that you want to embody? Then we have decision making in the reverse, which is interesting because we already had decisions, right? Again, you're at a decision point. Now, it's not just I make this decision and I then become that and I am this. Like, choosing a vibration of love or peace or whatever it is that you choose to embody is a decision that you make every moment of every day when faced with a challenge. Who do I want to be in this moment? How do I want to express my energy? How do I express my love here? Or lack of love, right? And that's okay too. You may feel indecisive or anxious about making the right choices, leading into delays or missed opportunities. And when you are presented with people who are hostile, right, who are negative, who are creating hassles or problems for you, you could see this as an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to now express love or react, you know, maintain the person of myself that I want to, the version of myself that I want to be. You're being invited to change things a little bit. Make some changes in the way that you confront problems. When you see a big mess, this is like, can I be somebody who is more patient? Can I be somebody who doesn't spiral out of control whenever they're met with a challenge? This is going to take hard work. It's going to take stamina. It's going to take endurance. It's going to take like nurturing these talents within yourself because you've become somebody who's reactive, right? there's a certain level of skill or effort that is required in this area, the same way as Harry Potter may have been a born wizard. However, he still had to learn like how to like swish and flick and all the things, right? He had a certain level of talent because of who his parents were or whatever he had inherited, but he still had to go to class and he still had to show up, and he still had to lean into the teachings that he was being shown at this time. You're still going to face these same people, these same situations. Are you going to see it as an opportunity for growth, or are you going to revisit your previous way of being and think, fuck it, that's who I want to be and that's how I want to express myself? Because again, I can't reiterate this enough, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There is nothing wrong with being somebody who is reactive. They're saying it's an opportunity for you to choose. It's not like, again, the decision is in your hands. Do you hold on to this part of yourself that feels as though you are in control of a situation? Because that Queen of Wands in reverse is somebody who people may see as angry, bitter, resentful, aggressive, whatever. But this is somebody who feels in control of their reality, therefore they feel safe here. And Spirit is saying, if you want to feel safe here, that's okay. But I feel like they're inviting you, that there's something different within, a different aspect of self that would like to be expressed as well. Then we have courage in the reverse. Fear may be holding you back from taking bold steps, leaving you feeling stuck in a difficult situation. Yeah, show me this fear, please. Fear that you won't get justice for a situation. Fear that if you don't bulldoze the blockages that are placed within your path, then you'll constantly be stuck there. Nobody else is coming to help you. Nobody else is coming to save you. It's like you don't trust fighting for justice or what is right. Like, I have to make this fair. I have to make this balanced. And the way that I do that is by exerting my Queen of Wands energy, is bringing the fire, right? Otherwise, if I don't fix it, no one else will. Spirit is saying here, you are an incredible manifestor, right? We have the King of Wands here, which is somebody who is charming, who is passionate, who is, and this is the thing, that comes with that certain amount of fire, comes with a certain amount of reactiveness as well. Make sure that you are not becoming somebody who is incredibly hostile, hot-tempered, impatient. Like, it can be expressed in certain ways. They're inviting you to find a softness. That doesn't mean that you have to go full kumbaya, peace with everybody and this kind of thing, right? It means that you don't have to become somebody who is consistently lost in the frustrations of life, that crashes out every time there's a challenge placed in front of them. Show me advice here, please. We have confidence. This one says, self-aware, intensely loyal. Now is the time to show others what it is that you can do and express yourself fully. Yeah, there's a part of yourself. This one says, radiate health and vitality. Show your shadow self. Yeah, so don't disconnect from the shadow completely, but you can show a new aspect of yourself. I understand my shadows. I understand this part of me is reactive and I don't completely disown it or throw it away. However, there's also a different part of me that is wanting to fully be expressed at this time. Now, only you can decide what that part of you is. Then we have imbalance, arguments, miscommunication, conflicts, secret affairs, financial disputes, strained emotional tensions within relationships, hidden secrets and lies, unsavory behavior, and power struggles. This is what your current state is reflecting around you. Now, how do I change something within in order to reflect a new reality outside of me? Then we have unfulfilled, blockages and challenges, fertility issues, right, which is the inability to create anything, seeking satisfaction in hollow pursuits, being rejected and feeling not good enough, misunderstandings, unexpressed feelings, stagnation, and feeling as though nothing is moving forward. You can shift this by you aligning your reality to something different. How do I think about myself? Who is it that I want to be? I would actually suggest for this pile that you take some time to try and sit and just do some like free channeled writing or something, like where just allow your higher self to come through. How would my higher self like to express itself, and which parts or aspects of me have become hidden because of this unsafety that I feel in the world around me? Much love. If this reading resonated with you, leave me a comment in the comment section. And if you'd like to book a personalized reading with me, link is in the description box. Much love.